You must have 3 to 6 months worth of emergency fund. Your furnace stops working. Your hot water tank needs to be replaced. Your basement floods. You want to have some savings, maybe even $50,000 to getting furniture for your home, decor. You may want to upgrade an appliance or two that you got from the builder. I made a very detailed Excel sheet of all the expenses Unnati I will expect to pay once we move into our new home. Of course, mortgage is always going to be there. Then there's stuff like property taxes, utility bills. You have to account for groceries, car insurance, cell phone plans, internet plans. Once we had our budget set, once we had our savings built up, we still didn't know how much home we can afford. I reached out to my banker and he told us how much maximum mortgage they will give us. Hi, I'm Deepad, a family man, entrepreneur, home builder, a cricket fanatic, and a collector of memorabilia. Please join me in this journey of life with Deepad. Welcome back to another episode on Life with Deepad. Today's episode is going to be loaded, fun, entertaining. I'm going to take you guys through some of the first steps you should consider if you are planning to become a home buyer. Thank you so much for being here today and giving me your time and attention throughout this video. Hope you enjoy. So as you guys know from the last video, Unnati and I are moving out of our family home. It was a big bombshell announcement, and my parents, I will take you guys through it at the end on how they reacted to us letting them know. You know, I'm 30 years old, lived with my parents all my life, and now making that big step to go and buy my own home, it wasn't the easiest of conversations that was had. But first off, we're going to talk about today is how you can start planning for your first home purchase. Please note, none of this is financial advice. These are some things that Unnati and I researched and felt like it worked for us. So my intention is just to share that with you and hope that it helps you in some way to get better prepared in your journey of becoming a homeowner. Number one is building your savings. You must have 3 to 6 months worth of emergency fund. Any financial expert you will talk to, they will say that build your emergency fund because emergencies come out of nowhere. That's why they're emergencies. Your furnace stops working. Your hot water tank needs to be replaced. Your basement floods. Your car breaks down and needs an urgent repair. Or the worst case scenario, you lose your job. All of these scenarios will leave you stranded for money. And that's exactly why we need the emergency fund. Another thing you guys will need is cash savings, because emergency fund is funds that you don't want to touch unless there's an emergency. Then you need cash savings, because after you move into the home, I've seen so many TikToks, Instagram videos of brand new home buyers. They move into their home and they say they have no more money left to buy any more furniture. You don't want to be in that position either. So you want to have some savings, maybe even $50,000 that you can spend some of that funds into actually getting furniture for your home, decor. You may want to upgrade an appliance or two that you got from the builder. You may want to do your landscaping and fence if that wasn't included in your original purchase. So these are all the things that you can keep those extra funds saved for. Next up, we'll be making a budget sheet. This is the most important step for anything, any major project you're doing in your life. Make a budget so you can be ready for what's to come. I love Excel sheets. I made a very detailed Excel sheet of all the expenses Unnati I will expect to pay once we move into our new home. Of course, mortgage is always going to be there. Then there's stuff like property taxes, utility bills. You have to account for groceries, car insurance, cell phone plans, internet plans, and of course, you have to leave some money for your own personal entertainment as well. Just because you became homeowners doesn't mean you stop living a life. You still got to go on date nights, go out with friends, go out for a drink or two, go partying, go on a Mexico trip, and you still need to have money left to put into your investments. Because if you're just paying your mortgage and you have no other funds left, you're not building up your retirement savings. And statistics say that most people that are retiring don't have enough funds to outlive them. And that's a big problem. So you want to use an Excel sheet similar to what I've shown on this screen right here. There's lots of resources on Google. Google is your best friend. Google and YouTube are your best friends when it comes to this. There's so many nice resources available to you for free of cost. Use them. One point I missed in my previous section was saving up for your down payment. Down payment's a big key. Ideally, you want to pay 20% because that avoids any mortgage insurance. In Canada, you can buy a home for as little as 5% down payment. But Unnati and I, we are planning to do 20%. And the way we saved up our funds is by maximizing the two programs we have here in Canada, which is the RRSP, First Time Home Buyer Plan. And they started a new plan called the FHSA, which is, I believe, First Home Savings Account. So the RRSPs have a law that Per person, you can take out $35,000 from your RRSP, use it towards your first home purchase, and they give you up to 15 years to pay that funds back, which is an excellent benefit. And then the FHSA is very similar to the RRSP, where you can take money out for your first time home buyer program, but you don't have to pay the money you took out. So for example, together, Unnati and I have accumulated $70,000 from our RRSP funds, which we will put towards our down payment. And FHSA, you can contribute $8,000 per calendar year, and it only started last year. So we have both accumulated $16,000 for a total of $32,000. In total, FHSA and RRSP combined, we already have $102,000 saved up to go towards our down payment, which is massive. And this was all possible because we were living with our parents. That's, again, the point I covered in the last video. There's so many pros of living with your parents in your family home because you have such minimal expenses. That's why we're in the position we are in today and are able to produce such a good down payment amount. A lot of this stuff might be flying over your head. If you're not in this market, it might be boring to you, or if any of this is interesting to you and you have further questions, don't hesitate to put it down in the comments. I will try to answer each and every one of you. The third step that we took is reached out to our bank and get pre-approved for our mortgage. Because once we had our budget set, once we had our savings built up, we still didn't know how much home we can afford. I reached out to my banker. We met up, he asked for all of our income documents, tax documents from the last couple of years. He asked us if we had any other outstanding loans like student loans, car loans, etc. And then basically they compile all the information, probably put it in their little software, and he told us how much maximum mortgage they will give us. Based on that, you know now how much home you can afford. I highly recommend not to max that budget out because that's your max risk budget. I see many people as a home builder who even come as clients, try to talk to the bankers to get them approved for just a little bit more, so they can afford this one beautiful home they've loved, so they can reach that asking price. Highly not recommended, as they're really pushing out of their limit. And if the market was to turn, if they were to lose their job, we have lots of layoffs that happen here in Canada every few years as the market's changing. Those are the days that you will be in big trouble. So I highly recommend, once again, don't max out, don't buy. If you're qualified for $600,000, don't buy it for $599,000. So these were the first 3 steps that Unnati and I took in getting ready to get our dream home in place. Once you have these things set up, now you are ready to go house hunting. You can go visit show homes, you can go meet with builders, start exploring areas that you foresee your family growing up in. Go check it all out. Start taking notes. What kind of home can you afford? Is it going to be a townhome? Is it a duplex? Is it a single family? Is it a custom home? Is it a lake backing home? Is it a ravine backing home? Or can you live at the golf course? So these are the first 3 things you should consider if you're buying your first home. Is that the first thing we did though? Not a chance. Our first thing, which was a lot harder than I ever expected it to be, was me telling my parents that we are thinking of moving out. That was really hard. It got really emotional. At one point, you know, parents, they always care for you. They don't want you to go through hard times. And that's exactly what my parents did. They're no different. Initially, I felt like it was a little selfish. You know, they don't want us to go for their comfort and so on. But then I got to the deeper end of it. They were also worried about us. How, you know, right now we're staying here. We're saving so much money. We have nothing else to worry about. We can focus on our life and careers and don't have to worry about managing the home. But these were all the things that Unnati and I wanted to learn and wanted to take on. So basically, it was communication that was really required between us and our parents. Once we had that open conversation with them, you know, we shared our feelings with them. That was the most important. You have to have open communication when talking to parents. They're your parents, not strangers, right? Be open. And we told them that our idea of moving out wasn't that we don't have a good relationship. In fact, we have an amazing relationship with our parents. We wanted to start living independently. We wanted to learn how to run a household, how to pay our bills, how to save money, and really have that feeling of becoming homeowners. We even told them that, don't worry, we're not going too far. We're in the same city. We're only a few minutes away. Told them even examples of other friends, family members who have moved countries away. Even themselves, they left their parents back 20 years ago when we first moved to Canada. I told them, I'm like, that decision of yours, it gave you wings to fly. And basically, that's all we want today, is our own wings to fly. I will be honest, they weren't on the same page instantly. It did take them some time. It took repeated efforts of opening this conversation up, sharing our feelings, understanding their feelings, and eventually they did come to terms with it and came to the same page as us. Whereas the game now has totally changed and my mom goes shopping regularly for all the new things we can have in our home. She's basically got so many kitchen appliances, all the kitchen things. I don't think we need anything more to have in our kitchen at this point. Our kitchen's fully set up and we haven't even moved there yet. And these are the things parents do for you. It's all out of love and we understand that. And we're here for them forever. So if you're in a similar boat where you're struggling to talk to your parents, have an open conversation, sit with them, share your feelings, understand their feelings, and together, I'm sure you'll work it out with them. Thank you so much for joining today's episode. Hope you found value. If you did, leave me a comment below on what you would like to see in the future or any comment on today's video. It really helps me understand what you like so I can improve and give you more value in the future. Thank you.